Hi, Karen. I am thrilled to see you after what feels like a lifetime. It feels like 6 months, probably. Maybe not six, but at least four.
In post-pandemic times, Katie, 1 month does equal 4 months. So yes, it's so
Technically.
wonderful to see you, right?
So nice to be back. It really, really is. Whew, yeah. I don't feel as nervous this time as I did the last episode. That's for sure.
It was a lot. I mean, now you know both what it's like to do the episode and to have it be out in the world. So that's a big difference.
Yes, it is a big difference. And it was like the pre episode of like thinking about, do I want to do this? And then it was like, okay, I'm going to do it. What am I going to talk about? And then we did it. And then I waited, oh gosh, 3.5 weeks. And after my surgery to figure out if I wanted to publish it. And then I listened to it. And then it was published yesterday. And yeah, it's in the world. I got a really nice note from Tanya. Hi, Tanya.
Oh,
And she was just like, she was giving me, very kind words about it. And that was just so kind. So yeah.
oh, we love that. Thank you, Tanya.
Yes. Thank you, Tanya. But okay, so I know we're gonna get into the after, but is all well with you in your world for the past month?
Yes. Yes. So I guess I could say it. I think this is public enough now. I mean, I just invited a bunch of people to a going away party. So, listeners, for the first time in 23 years, I'm moving out of Chicago.
Woo, woo, woo!
Ooh, the end of May, MLB and I are moving to Indianapolis for 2 years. They have a 2-year contract. So I'm moving out of Chicago. And yeah, the last month has just been a whirlwind of house hunting and preparing. This is why I've been doing the purging, of course,
Yes.
and just lots of logistics and excitement and lots of emotions, all of the emotions.
I'm so excited for the two of you to finally be in the same place, in the same, well, is are they in Central Time or Eastern Time? Because I guess you'll be in the same time zone. Like, because Indiana is just all over the place depending on your city.
Exactly. Yes. No. So they are currently Eastern time.
Okay, I mean, life changing. And you're going to a beautiful place. And Indianapolis seems so cool. I remember visiting, I mean, gosh, it was a long time ago now, probably maybe 8 years ago, but I was so inspired by it. Honestly, there was like a really cool art scene and like a cute downtown. I mean, I was there for 2 days, but still, it sounds incredible. And I'm so happy for the two of you. And I'm thrilled. Congratulations on like making this huge step.
Ah, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm very, very excited and very sad to be leaving, but also feel like I'm gonna be right back. It's like not saying goodbye. It's just like I'll see you. I'll
Totally.
see you. See you on the flip side, which is what Tori says all the time. And I'm gonna be back up here a lot. I feel like because as nice as Indy is, it's Indiana, and I used to live in Milwaukee. Right after college, I lived in Milwaukee and I was in Chicago all the time. And people, I feel like when
Yeah.
I say I'm going to be back all the time, are just like roll their eyes, like, yeah, whatever. And like, no, no, I mean it.
Right. You also grew up there. It's like your roots. I mean, this is home. Like, or I mean, I don't want to say it's home to speak for you because maybe you'll decide Indianapolis is home for 2 years, but like, yeah. And you have so many wonderful people in Chicago and like, there won't be like, what do I want to say? Like, there will always be a reason to go back, like to visit or just like buzz up for the day if you're, willing to drive a bit, that kind of stuff.
Exactly. Yes. And there's a megabus,
There's a
Amtrak.
mega bus?
Oh, yeah. We have the megabus. I mean, the megabus that will go between, I mean, the megabus, I didn't realize they had made it through the pandemic, to be honest, but you can still take a bus ride for $1 on
What?
the megabus. Yeah. Yeah.
I completely forgot about the mega bus.
Yep.
It goes around different area. It's like a Greyhound that goes around different areas of the Midwest. Is that what it is?
I think, is it just the Midwest? I
I
mean, I'm
actually
a
don't know.
Midwesterner. I don't know either.
I mean, could you go to all the way to like New York for $1? I mean, I don't know.
I don't know.
I'll do some research and report back. I mean, that's I'm tempted. I mean, what if I could get the mega bus from Bend to New York? I'd be like, I'll see you in 6 years, but I'm only spending $1. So like,
I'm
I mean,
stopping in every mid-sized city between here and there, but it's amazing.
totally. It's like how many diners can you fit into 12 hours? Like that sounds fun and also would probably get old after a little bit, but it sounds like a really fun article, honestly, that I would read. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's so exciting, Karen. I'm so excited for you and MLB. It's going to be, I mean, moving is always a journey, but once you're there, it'll be great, I think. I hope.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yes, so that's been my last month.
That's awesome. So my last month has been interesting. I don't know. I don't really know where to start. I mean, okay, so we recorded on May 3rd. Today is May 3rd. Today I still do have brain fog, listeners. That is something that unfortunately is a byproduct of surgery and it's not as bad as it was, but please forgive me if I just say the wrong words. We recorded on March 3rd and today is April 4th. Um yeah, so the last month, where should I start, Karen?
So when last we left you, you were 4-ish days out. So right, you were 4-ish days out,
Yep.
and the plan was you were going to drive to Portland,
Yes.
hang out with a friend, then go early the next day for surgery.
Yes. Okay. So that all of that happened. Tyler and I got up to Portland really easily. There wasn't any bad, weather. It's like you have to go through all these different mountain passes and it was actually fine. Thank goodness. And then we got up there, we had dinner with my friend Nikki, which was wonderful. She's really funny, and that actually I realized was like the perfect thing because like yeah, we talked about the surgery, but really it was just like us laughing at her hilarious stories, which was really really nice. It like really broke the ice, because I think both of us were just terrified. And so we stayed at this nice hotel and the next morning we had to be at the hospital. I'm trying to think. I think we had to be there by 9 a.m. To check in. And so I wasn't allowed to eat or drink anything, like nothing. And so I didn't, and I had to put this patch on the back of my ear so I wouldn't get nauseous. And we went to a coffee shop so Tyler could get some coffee on the way to the hospital. And I was just kind of sitting there admiring the plants. I remember this coffee shop had a really great plant game. And then yeah, we got to the hospital. They admitted us and oh, my heart rate just skyrocketed, It was just
Mm.
like one of those things where I was terrified. I was just so scared, but it was also like it felt like I felt inertia like going in there. Like it was like this, okay, I did have them feeling of like I could stop this right now. Like, oh my God. And they're giving me like paperwork on it. They're like, do you want to fill out an advance directive? I'm like, I don't even know what an advance directive is. And they're like, well, if you're brain dead, then your husband can decide if he want to pull the plug or not. And I was like, that's a very big I'm like, is this going to be a thing that I have to worry about? And they're like, no, but your advance directive will follow you around for probably the rest of your life. So you might want to think about it. Your husband could fill out his own advance directive too. And I was like, we'll just take the paperwork. Like it was just
Yep.
like, it
Mhm.
was so intense, Karen.
Yep.
Whew. It was intense. So we went into this room, which was kind of like this like prepare for surgery place. And, I like had to change into a hospital gown and that kind of thing. And I did like a funny dance video and sent it to a few people. And I was feeling pretty good. Like I was just like, let's just do this. Like, and I felt to get really spiritual here, but I felt the presence of my grandmother and my aunt, who my great aunt Norma, who was like a second grandmother to me, they were just hanging out. Like I felt so much like they were getting their hair done while I was waiting in the waiting room. And then once I was in like the pre-op room, like I was like, getting hooked up to all the, machines, they were right there. It was like I could see their faces. It was actually like really calming to me.
Wow, that is so beautiful.
Thanks. It doesn't make me sound like I'm totally in the loony bin. I don't know.
You know, as a quick aside, I will tell you, whenever there are a lot of birds around, MLB will say, "Oh, the ancestors are busy today."
love that.
And that's how I feel about your aunt and your great aunt and your grandmother being with you.
Yeah, I love that. I take back the loony bin comment. I don't want to like chastise myself, but that's so beautiful. Like, and it was really beautiful. It felt very calm. Like it was just like,
Mm.
and they were just, I could see their faces and they were just hanging out and they were like, yeah, we're here. Like we're here and we're just, it wasn't even that they were like trying to give me messages. It was just like they were present. And I have this necklace from my grandmother that's really important to me, and I wore it into the hospital, but you're not allowed to wear any speck of jewelry at all. And so, I took off my wedding ring and my other ring, and like I had Tyler wear my grandmother's necklace, and like it was important for me to know that it was at least in the hospital with me. And so yeah, I would say that like it was interesting because when they came in, like my surgeon who I had been talking to over Zoom for months, almost a year now, or more than a year actually, she came in and it was almost like I wanted to give her a hug. Like she just is so wonderful and warm, and like we're similar ages, and so she was very chill, and like I met the anesthesiologist, and then I just it's weird. It's like this is almost a blur. It's like they started wheeling me into, like I had to say goodbye to Tyler, and then they wheeled me into the operating room. And that part wasn't so great. Like I don't think I've ever seen an operating room. I guess I had a heart surgery when I was in college, but it was nothing compared to this. And so like I don't remember it being, I guess I don't remember the operating room back then. It was 20 years ago. But anyway, they wheel you in and it's like these enormous, it's a huge, huge room. Like, I mean, probably 25, 30-foot ceilings and like these massive lights, and like it's just a lot going on. And there's so much machinery, and like there's all these people in there, which are all these nurses that are like waiting for me. And they're like, hi, like they're trying to be like, and I'm already hooked up to like anesthesia's already pumping in. Like I'm still awake, but it's like it's within a few minutes that I'm gonna be out. And I look around and I can't like move or anything, but like I look around and I was like, where is my surgeon? Like I was like, I remember that was the last thing I said. And I was like, where is she? And they're like, oh, she's coming. Don't worry. Yeah. She's coming. She's coming. And I was like, okay. And that's it. I was out. I was gone. And so the next thing I knew, it doesn't feel like sleeping because it's not like I'm tired. It's just, I mean, you're drugged, so that's it. And then the next thing I knew, I woke up in a really like dim room, like, and I didn't feel good. Like my stomach hurt, and
Mm.
I turned to the nurse and I was like, I don't I'm in pain. And so she's like, okay, thank you for telling me. And then she like put like something into my IV, and then I fell asleep for 2 hours. And I woke up after that, and it was, so I went into the hospital. So like I went into the OR at 11 a.m. and I woke up at 6 p.m., I think. Something, maybe 7.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. So it was, I mean, that includes naps, but it was just like, oh, it's dark. Like where's the light? Like it's like, and Tyler was right next to me, and I even saying this is like a little bit hard on my chest, but like I woke up, and the second time I woke up after I had taken that 2-hour nap, I turned at, like they noticed that I was waking up, and the nurse turned to me and she's like, they found endometriosis everywhere.
Katie.
And like that was the first thing she said, and I turned to Tyler who was like right next to me, and he's like, he was so happy. He was like, yeah, they found it everywhere. And all I can remember doing, 'cause I mean I was so out of it, is like shaking my head like, no, like I just don't even want to hear it. Like I don't want to know. Like it was just like I was just like, like it was like I wasn't ready for that kind of information.
Mm, mhm.
And so yeah, so like I think they got the message of like my body language, just like, no real talk basically. Like,
Yes.
and so yeah, so I laid there for a long time, and like the hours just like melted away. Like I was so out of it. Like I could have a conversation with Tyler, and like he was holding my hand and he was, saying nice things and like giving me crackers, and like I had some apple juice, and like, but I couldn't have like a conversation. There was no like sentences that I could actually speak. So anyway, so I finally went home around like 10:30. We got to the hotel. I wasn't
Wait,
able to
this
please.
same day?
It was outpatient.
Stop it.
Yeah, I agree.
No.
That's the correct reaction. It's actually designed as an outpatient surgery. And so I was so out of it because I think I'm just very, very sensitive that like I I mean, it got to the point where if I was there past 10:30 at night, they were gonna admit me. Like they were just gonna have me stay over because that's like they just their nurses go, I don't know what it is, but it's just like there's like a cutoff. Anyway, and so the thing is they were like, you have to pee in order to leave. Like you cannot leave until you do that. And it's like this is graphic. I mean, everyone, trigger warning, if you're not into graphic medical shit, go to the next episode, please. But like, I mean, it's yeah, like it's not a thing. Like your body doesn't like I had a what's it called, a anesthesia block below my bra line. And so like I can't really feel anything like below like in my stomach or anything. Like I can't feel, so it's not like you can like focus on peeing. And so like I tried multiple times and I couldn't. Like I like you don't have the muscles, like it doesn't work. And so the third time I tried, the nurse, she was like, okay, she's like, it's okay if you can't, but just so you know, I'm gonna have to put a catheter in you. And
Uh,
yeah, and I was like, okay, well, are you gonna put me out again for that? And she was like, no, we're gonna keep you awake. And I was like, I'll go. I was like, I'll definitely go. And that was the motivation, that some act of God was like, you're fucking peeing, Katie. Like this is happening. You're not getting a catheter when you're wide awake. Like it's just no.
nope, that is your body protecting you from some shit. She knew that if she said that, suddenly your bladder was going to be like, okay, Katie, let's do this.
Let's do this.
We got this.
We're friends. Let's do this and like let's get the hell out of here. And so yeah, so I can't walk, so like they, wheelchair me out to the car, and then Tyler like swings around and picks me up, and then
What?
yeah, I know. And it's not, I mean, it sounds inhumane to have this as an outpatient thing. I think it would have been better if I had like the 7 a.m. surgery, because then I would have been done at like 4. But like it was just like the timing of the day, I think. But anyway, I also did not realize that my surgery ended up being extremely in depth, which is the reason why it lasted for so long. So anyway, so I get to the hotel. I'm actually okay enough to like walk extremely slowly. Like Tyler's like holding me up. Then we get to the car. Well, then we, sleep. And then the next day we drive home. It was actually okay. I mean, I was still out of it. Like, I would say that the anesthesia honestly did not wear off for me for like 3 or 4 days. Like, it was
Wow.
really intense. And so and the physical manifestations of that are pretty significant. And so like it's like, yeah, I don't know how much graphic stuff people want to hear, but like, when they take out that many organs inside of your stomach, they have to pump you up like a balloon. And so like your stomach is bigger than it normally is. Anyway, so yeah, this is a lot of detail, but yeah.
I mean, like we said before we hit record, this is for you and for other people. And I feel like you just had an experience of interacting with somebody who's doing this. And I think it's helpful for people. I know it
That's
sounds
true.
right. Like, do you wish you had known the things you're saying before you went into this?
Oh my God. I mean, yeah, 100%. Thank you for
Yeah.
framing that. That's really helpful. Yeah, so you have like a distended stomach. Like that's like how it works because so this was all obviously agreed upon before surgery, but I had my uterus, my fallopian tubes, my cervix, and my appendix taken out at the same time,
Good God.
which yeah. So like the appendix was kind of like, since we're in there and it could kill you at some point, why not? And then the rest of them were like, yeah, I know. And then the rest of them were like, oh no, this is, like you don't want a pap smear ever again. And I fucking hate pap smears. I'm like a weirdo about them. Like, not that anyone is like sweet pap smears, but I like really hate them and I've always hated them. And so like I was like, yeah, just do it. Like let's get it out. Like that's that. So anyway, my ovaries are still there, and so therefore my hormonally I'm doing fine. I'm not in menopause. But
Oh, okay, good.
yeah, that's actually like an important distinction. Like because I'm 41, it's really dangerous for them to take out my ovaries because that actually would put me into what's called surgical menopause. And that means that I would have to be on the hormone replacement therapy, and like the propensity for a myriad of horrible side effects would start happening, including depression. And yeah, I'm not signing up for it. I think the thing that I was worried about was that they didn't know what was wrong with me before I went into this hysterectomy. And so they were like, well, it could be something in your ovaries. And if it is, then we'll just have to go in and take those out another time and like have another surgery. So I was like, okay, sweet. Like, I actually was kind of pissed at first that they wouldn't say yes to that. But then when I realized the massive negative implications, that like, I was like, okay, whatever. So, not whatever, but okay, I agree. But anywho, and so I got home, and the way that my house works is that I like the living areas on the ground floor, like the kitchen, and then the bedrooms are on the second floor. And so I walk into my house. This is all entirely assisted by Tyler. Like it's like I can't walk because they've drilled into my stomach 4 times through my abdominal walls. And so it's like sorry, Karen, this is a lot.
I'm just gonna need a minute to recover from the word drilled. I'm
Sorry,
gonna be okay.
not a good term.
It's
Oh
accurate.
yeah,
So accurate. We didn't do a trigger warning. We didn't do a content warning at the
we
beginning of this
didn't.
one, and ugh,
Yeah, sorry people. We're in it now. So so yeah, like so
there's
the thing is that when your abdominal wall is affected in that way, you can't use your like it's not even like an option to walk. It's like, I mean, you can walk, but it's very it's the weirdest thing. I've never noticed how much your core matters to standing up, obviously. I mean, that's like an obvious thing, but it's like my legs worked fine. It was just like my stomach didn't. Like it was like it wasn't even an option. And so and then the rest of my body is just like, flailing of like what is actually happening. So then like I start going on to I got on oxycodone, which is the first narcotic I've ever tried in my life, and realized within the first, I would say 24 hours, that narcotics and me are not friends at all. Not at all.
mm,
Like we're really quite enemies. It made my pupils dilated. I became a crying disaster, like level 10 out of 10 of like full emotional meltdowns constantly, which is actually for some people a byproduct of using narcotics, and which of course I didn't know. It was a bad, I was in a bad way. Like that was bad. And so I couldn't walk for like the first 4 days. So I stayed upstairs the entire time. And so Tyler was delivering me food, and like he was incredible. Thank God. Like, I mean, I felt so grateful the whole time, even though I was in misery. And it wasn't like I could be like, oh, I'm gonna binge a show. Like it was like it was, like I really hoped going into surgery that it would be like, oh, I'm going to be out for 3 weeks. But it's kind of like if I faked being sick in high school and like you just hang out and just do fun shit. Nope, that not that.
this was not Ferris Bueller's Day Off. This was not Katie's Amazing Adventure Day Off. No.
Nope,
Okay.
nope, not at all. Actually, before God, Karen, you're gonna die. Before surgery, I ended up investing in a few of these like paint by number like kits you can buy
Yes.
online.
Yes.
And I was especially excited about the Sonia Sotomayor paint by number kit because I don't know about you, but when I'm in surgery recovery, I want to paint Sonia Sotomayor's face. Like, I mean, who doesn't?
Obviously.
Obviously. And so I mean, I opened it. I remember opening it on like day 5 or 6 and looking at it and being like, "Oh, like numbers and colors, and wait, I'm supposed to unpack that paintbrush." Like I was like, I mean, it was laughable. Like my brain, I could not even think straight to even do, like there was no possible way that I was like, that is, we're doing PhD level shit right now. Like I was like, I can't do that. Like I'm 2. Like that's what I felt like. Seriously.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that was interesting. By the time I was able to get to the point where I was walking downstairs. That was like maybe day 4-ish. I would walk from my sink to I couldn't make food or anything. Like it was like I couldn't even talk much. Like I could talk to Tyler for like a few sentences at a time, but like I didn't talk to my family for like a week. Like I didn't talk to any, I mean it was texting only. And I would have these crying jags even after I got off the oxy that were just it was dark. Like it was real dark. Like there was one time in particular that I started freaking out that I did it. Like I was freaking out.
Wow.
And I was like, "Oh my god, these things aren't in my body anymore." Like it was just like this realization of just like, "Fuck, like what the fuck did I just do?" And like really like actually it was an ugly moment, and it was, Tyler had to really help and calm me down, and he did. But there were moments where I was like, "Oh my gosh, this was an impulse decision. How could I do this?" And so throughout the whole thing, it's been interesting because like I would say that I did not start to even resemble normalcy at all until 2.5 weeks in.
Wow.
And it's like the first 2 weeks, I would say the first, after like maybe 9 or 10 days, I was able to walk around. I would like set a timer. I might have texted this to you, but I would set a timer in my backyard and for 5 minutes. And I would walk around the perimeter of my backyard for 5 minutes, but then I would come back inside and I would have to sleep for 2 hours
Mm.
because a 5 minute walk was just, it was way too much. And so that has built up. And like now today's day 2 of feeling like really, really good actually. And I went on an hour-long walk at a nature reserve yesterday, and that's great. And I'm way better because I'm back at work, and I'm like, but it's been really interesting in terms of completely surrendering to my body. Like I've never had a moment in my life where I have like there has been no mental. I mean, honestly, I think brain fog has been like a godsend in a way because it's like I don't even have like to not have the facilities to like I mean yes I had those moments where I would freak out but like on the whole I was just kind of a vegetable like it's just like yeah it's a little rough but still trusting my body that it was healing.
Right. And like you said, surrendering to it. And like we talked about on the first episode, like that is the goal of recovery is to let your body do its thing. And I think the brain fog, I wonder how much of it is just like, no, no, you're not doing anything.
Yes. Yes.
So Sonia can wait.
Yes. Someday I will post something on Instagram, which by the way I did get off of and I'm still off of, but someday when I'm back on Instagram, I will post a paint by number of Sonia Sotomayor, the great Sonia Sotomayor, and I if you know, you know.
Right, exactly. No context.
No comment. And no context whatsoever. No, people will be like, all right, that's nice. Like, what? I like painting Supreme Court justices. No big deal. Oh my God.
I know I had questions for you. So, what would you say was the most surprising thing about this experience?
Yeah, hmm, I think the most surprising thing, huh? Actually, okay, so I think the most surprising thing is getting a diagnosis, and my diagnosis specifically is stage 4 endometriosis, which is the worst version, um, the most severe, and that it was everywhere, and feeling nothing. I
Wow.
feel nothing. I've had
Wow.
multiple people ask me like, "Oh, don't you feel so relieved like that that you're at least you have an answer for all of those episodes of pain?" No, I don't.
Mm.
I'm not relieved. Like I no. I mean, it just so happened the timing is bizarre, but last month, so March was endometriosis awareness month. So there was like a ton of articles and documentaries and all this stuff out on the disease and it's really fucked up how little research is out there for this and how the statistics are that 9 to 10 or excuse me that 1 out of every 9 or 10 women on the planet have endometriosis. And yet when I heard that statistic and I still feel pretty resistant to it, I guess you could say, because the
Mm.
only way to diagnose endometriosis is surgically. And so, like, how many
Oh.
people can actually even surgically get diagnosed? Like, I have so much privilege to even have surgery. And so, and it took me 27 years to get there from the onset of these episodes. And so, yeah, it's interesting. It's like, no, I've got no love for that diagnosis. And like, I have, yeah, I think that's been really surprising. I think like I mean, I think I touched on it in the other episode, but like to not have a narrative about it, like I think it's like that part I've really that's like been me tapping into my body and not always having like a story with a beginning, middle and end about this has been something that's been somewhat liberating but also just like bewildering because as a journalist, I always have a story about everything. And I'm just not forcing it. Like I'm just like nope, that's it. And it's like and there's some liberation with that. There really is. Like, but yeah, it's just yeah, I think the answer to people's questions about like, isn't it great that you have a diagnosis? Like, I don't even want to say it's great or not great. It's like I feel nothing.
Mm. I get that.
Really?
Did you absolutely? I mean, because did you know or suspect before you went in? Because I don't think we talked about that part.
Yeah, so no and no.
Mm.
So that's a big part of the story actually. I so basically the way endometriosis works in for people who don't know what endometriosis is it's the abnormal growth of cells that are usually inside of the uterus outside of the uterus. It's extremely common, but it creates acute pain in most people and it manifests as many different things. And so like you can have these cells that grow outside of the uterus, but then they can also grow on like a bunch of other stuff, like which that's what they found with me is they had like grown and like congealed and like that's a horrible word, but like on different organs and like it's just they can be all over your body. And there's also endometrial cancer, which thankfully they did not find. But yeah, it's a fucked up disease. And the thing is that the first time anyone ever told me about this disease, I think I was like maybe in my mid 20s. And I remember vividly, and this has been something that has been kind of shocking to me just in the recovery process, is that I remember this so strongly. The first time anyone told this, a gynecologist told me about it, and she was like, if you want, like, we can do a surgical procedure. It's called an excision that like takes out the endometriosis, which was part of my hysterectomy, but it's like a minor procedure. It's not minor. I mean, it's still a surgery, but it's not taking out your uterus. Anyway, and so I remember getting on the phone with one of my family members. I don't remember who I was calling after that visit and being like, "Can you fucking believe that this doctor thinks they're going to break me open for a surgery? Who does that? What the hell?" So here's the thing. So
Wow.
that happened when I was in my mid 20s. And if I had had that excision in my mid 20s, it's very possible, almost a guarantee, who knows, but that I would have kids right now.
No
And
shit.
yeah, that part is like, whoa. That part, I don't know how to hold that truth because that's just I feel it in my bones. Like if I had because endometriosis grows and grows and grows. So it's like it's obviously part like they could have excised the endo. I could have gone off birth control, gotten pregnant, and then gotten more endo later. But anyway, it's still it's very highly likely that I would have gotten pregnant. And so in a way, it I feel happy. I mean, I still feel happy that I don't have kids. And yet it's like all of these things can be true again. And so, yeah, I think the other thing is like there is such an enormous amount of gaslighting that is done for women who have any type of pain, period, just end of sentence. And when it comes to menstrual pain, there's so much joking that happens societally and like in the zeitgeist and, popular culture and all of it. And it's like, you know, the thing is that if like there's so much more research that goes to male diseases, just as a blanket statistic, it's just true. Um, if men experienced 1/100th of the pain that causes most people like, or, endometriosis related pain that people with endometriosis experience, I bet you that, there would be so much more research that would be have been done, or like, it's just, it boggles my mind that you can't know about this if you have this disease or not without getting surgery. Like that part, just like, it's very hard for me to understand and reconcile in 2023 when we have, so it's like there's such a discrepancy in terms of what money goes to in the medical field. So yeah, to answer your question, the last part of your question is that the week before my surgery, I talked to my surgeon, and I told her, I was like, I feel it in my bones that I don't have it. And
Wow.
everyone says that. That's what she said. Everyone says that. And I was like, what? And she's like, yeah, most people don't think they have it because they've been told that they don't have it. And I was like, uh-huh. But then it was like also that but I really felt it, like, because I had been told that, like, it's like, most people are like, oh, well, I'm not really sure what's wrong with you, but it could be endometriosis, but it doesn't manifest, because the thing is that most people with stage 4 have pass out episodes every single month. Like, it's like they lose their jobs, they can't, like, like they're on disability. Like, it's like I had a very, relatively speaking, easier time than a lot of people, because I mean, it's horrible. It's just, the stories are just totally heartbreaking. And so then I said to her, I was like, well, I'm going to be so pissed if there's no endometriosis, because then it's not going to, like, what is the reason for all of these experiences? And she's like, yeah, it'll still be helpful. And she's very positive. And so, like, I don't feel happier that I had it. And it's like, okay, like, yeah. So,
I totally get it. And I asked it because I feel like it's not like you identified with it in some way.
yeah,
Like the people I know who have endo know they have it and are very vocal about being vocal about it and talking about it and
that's awesome.
and getting people to know about it, raising awareness not just among the general public, but among a medical community. And so I feel like, yeah, if you didn't identify with it, it wasn't something that you thought was, it wasn't something you thought you had and you were so sure you didn't. I get that finding out you had it isn't necessarily a relief. Like, I
Yeah.
think a diagnosis can be a relief sometimes, but not all the time.
Totally, totally. And it's like, it's interesting. I didn't identify as someone who had endometriosis, but I have been thinking about the fact that I identified as someone who had monthly crippling anxiety over whether or not I would experience pain. And so, like, I'm still very much in it, and I'm not going to be fully healed until the beginning of June, which is 3 months out. But like, after that, it's like, oh, whoa, like, I have, like, is it possible? I mean, obviously, there's no guarantees that the pain won't come back, but it's like, most likely, like, they got it all out. And like, endometriosis usually doesn't grow after you're in your 40s. And so it's like, okay, how is that? Is that a magic trick? Like, that's amazing.
Right? Oh, I mean, I just hope so much, obviously, that you're done, that this is the end of it, and that you are fully on the other side of it.
Me too. Thanks, Karen. One of the things that's also been surprising is like, once I've gotten my brain back a little bit, like, I'm still on house arrest. I mean, I'm not right now. I can go and drive and stuff, but that's a pretty new development. But like, I've gotten really into spring wardrobe capsule collection YouTube videos.
Katie, I love this for you.
Oh my God. Okay, just for the listeners who don't know me, this is so not my jam, but I'm so into it. Like, okay, so the thing that, like, I was really into was, I was like, okay, well, I kind of want to look at, like, I kept thinking, like, once I started getting my brain back, I was like, I want to live a fucking glamorous life where I travel all the time to see my friends and I have fun and I am laughing over drinks and I'm wearing fabulous fucking clothes and owning it and like just feeling amazing. This is my new motto. It like, legit,
Okay,
right?
I'm into it. I'm super into it. All right.
Okay, so then I go on YouTube and like I get into these shop your closet rabbit holes. Okay, do you know what that is? I had never even heard that term.
I mean, I think it's that there's a bunch of shit in your closet that you are not wearing that will be quote unquote new to you because you haven't seen it in so long. And that you'll be like, oh my God, this is amazing. Why haven't I been wearing this?
Exactly. I was like, oh my God. Okay, so I did it a little early. I got really tired after like 3 items, but for those 3 items, I was taking full length, mirror pictures and all of this stuff. But like some of the items that I found, like, I mean, I don't have a huge closet or anything, but I think the thing is it doesn't even matter how big my closet is because I only wear like 4 things over and over and over. Like, I just have the same sweats and I have the same t-shirt and I reach for the same shit and I don't try and like whatever. So I'm looking into my closet and I find these black pants and I was like, "Oh, these pants are nice." I look at the tag, they're Armani.
What?
Yeah, and I was like, and I'm like a consignment shopping fiend, and so like they wouldn't have been more than $20, but I don't even remember getting them. I would have probably gotten them like seriously 20 years ago. And I tried them on and I was like, "Well, damn, I look really good." I'm like, "Why don't I ever wear this shit?" And so I'm wearing my Armani pants at some point.
This could be a whole new like portal of amazingness for you.
That's what I'm thinking. I am thinking so much that this is going to be a portal of amazingness that I am manifesting a 2 week trip in New York City in September where I'm going to house sit at someone's amazing Upper West Side penthouse. I have none of this planned, but like this is just what's going to happen.
Yes.
Those of you who are listening who have an Upper West Side penthouse, I'll deal with Upper East Side, Soho, Greenwich Village, whatever. I'm not discriminating, but penthouse. And I am going to get a fucking professional photographer and I'm going to get like headshots in Central Park with my amazing clothes because I'll feel 100% by that point because I'll be like 6 months out.
The photo shoot, Katie. You have to get hair and makeup too.
Oh, ooh, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you got to do the whole thing. You got to do the whole like Queer Eye
Yes.
makeover extravaganza.
Oh my gosh, I so want that. Thank you for mentioning that because I'll have my hair and makeup people come to my penthouse. Plenty of space. They'll just use one of the unused rooms in my this imaginary penthouse that I'm making up in my mind.
That you have taken the megabus to from bed.
Yes, for $1. Yes.
For 4 quarters. So I will admit to you, I am not a current Queer Eye watcher. I've only ever seen the OG ones. I don't know who JVN is. I don't know any of these people. Someone out there though knows. And I think you can nominate people. Do they still do that?
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, the new Queer Eye is so fabulous. I mean, it's like, oh my God, if you want like real like if you want to cry, it's a guaranteed cry like every single time. But oh my God, you can totally nominate people. I mean, I feel bad being nominated because I'm just like, I don't know, like I can hire a makeup person,
Katie,
but
how many organs did you just have out?
fair.
Come on.
Fair. I mean, thank you for making a joke about organs because when like a week out of my surgery, I have to turn down the heating pad that I'm sitting on because that's a thing. But anyway, like I made a joke to like a text chain of friends that I had like gone to the organ buffet at Old Country Buffet and none of them laughed because it's disgusting.
Sorry.
No, thank you for laughing because I was like, did my like sense of humor change? Like, is that what happened? Like, I don't know. I thought it was really fucking hilarious. And then like a week later, after I stopped crying because of whatever, because I was just in pain, my friend who's on the text chain, she texted me and she was like, "Someday we'll laugh about your OCB organ buffet, but we're not there yet." She was trying. She's like, "I'm glad you're okay." I'm like, okay.
God, I'm trying to remember a dear friend who I will not out had their gallbladder out last year.
Oh,
And I'm
wow.
pretty sure one of her siblings sent her a stuffed gallbladder. Like,
Yes.
if you're gonna have an organ out or multiple, I feel like you gotta lead into the humor, the just plain humor of that. Like, that is some shit. What?
It's so weird. How can I still be walking around with 4 less organs? That's
That's what I'm
weird.
saying.
That's
Yeah.
so weird. I guess your fallopian tubes aren't probably considered an organ. 3.5 less organs. Like, whatever. I mean, it's just actually my boss, she was joking around before the surgery and she's like, oh my gosh, if you get your appendix out, I'll send you this. Like, it's a teeny on Amazon, like stuffed animal or appendix. And then she texted me and I was having a really bad day. And she was like, how are you doing? And I was like, I've been crying for 12 hours. She was, and so then she hasn't mentioned the appendix stuffed animal since then, but I'm still here for it. Yeah.
Yes. All right, listeners. One of you is a Queer Eye stan. I'm just saying. Katie, hair, makeup, whatever else they do to you, photo shoot, Central Park. Let's make this happen.
Hopefully they put me up in a fucking penthouse in Central Park.
I mean, wouldn't it be hilarious if you get there and they're like, here's the La Quinta that you'll be staying at ahead of your Queer Eye episode. Here's the room
your
you'll be
motel.
Sharing.
Yes.
Here's your Hojo suite.
Yeah. With a heart-shaped tub. We'll throw that in for good measure.
Accommodations for Queer Eye are provided by
Hojo. Oh my God, that's so fucking funny. That's amazing. I will say that I have been on this app called Trusted House Sitter. A friend of mine told me about this, where you can like babysit people's houses all over the world, but it's the catch is that you're watching their animals.
Yeah.
And like everyone has, you know, like it's kind of like Airbnb sort of, but you just don't, there's no money exchanged. And so I have looked into New York City and there are like, you can see like listings that are, you know, like in the past or something, they're not available at the moment. And there are some like really nice places in New York City that have like 3 cats, but I'm like, I'll take care of your 3 cats. We'll see. That might work too.
I love this so much. Oh my gosh. And yes, you'll have all of, I mean, if Queer Eye doesn't work out, you will have the fashions gleaned from your YouTube watching.
Right? I'm for some reason my algorithm is only showing me British women who do this. And so it's only British women with their spring capsule collections, and I'm here for it because it seems so much fancier to hear a woman who has a really strong British accent tell me about her trench. Her trench. Make sure you have a trench with a sneaker. Like, it's like, and make a jumper. Make sure your jumper is ready. I am a horrible person at accents, clearly. I mean, that was just like
Oh my God. I loved every second of it. And I'm also, of course, my brain went to Midwestern vloggers. Oh my God, my Armani pants go so well with this Canada Goose jacket. Don't you think?
yes.
I got my Crocs on.
Yes. My vintage Carhartt. Oh my God. It's pretty great. So anyway, that's been a huge byproduct of this, which I'm thrilled about. And like I went out to with friends the other night and I was like, okay, I'm gonna wear like I wore nice jeans and I wore this blazer that I never wear. I don't really wear blazers unless I'm like, I don't even know. I mean, I like going into the offices of my clients before COVID. Anyway, and so people were like, oh, you look nice. And I was like, thank you. I am glamorous as fuck now. I'm new.
Oh my God. Ooh, okay. Oh my God, what's it called? Oh, she tells me all the time. Vanessa, one of my many muses. Vanessa, I think it's called Newly.
Ooh, what's that?
Okay, it's one of these services. It's one of these services that like Stitch Fix. Like you take a style quiz and every month they send you like 5 or 6 pieces. You get a stylist, 5 or 6 pieces that they think you'll like. You keep it for the month. If you like anything, you can buy it at a deep discount. Otherwise, you just send the box back, and then every month you get a new box full of like fancy shit.
Wait, so you can wear them?
Oh yeah, no, they send you these clothes that you wear for a whole month.
Okay, this is like a beautiful hybrid of like Rent the Runway and Stitch Fix combined.
Yes, that's exactly it.
Newly,
That's
Newly.
I think it's Nuuly, but there's also Stitch Fix. I feel like I'm gonna Google this. Hold on.
But
Hold,
Stitch Fix, you can't. Did Stitch Fix like 8 or 9 years ago, and it was awesome. I found some cool pieces, but you're not allowed to like wear them. Like, I mean, you could try them on, but you can't like actually wear them, or at least not back when they were. I mean, this is a long time ago, but like to be able to wear them and then send them back. Wow.
Oh, you're right. Yes, yes, yes. I forgot that about Stitch Fix. Yes, the notion is that, like, yes, it's Nuuly, Nuuly, clothing rental and resale marketplace. And yeah, you wear this box of super, I mean, beautiful clothes. Like, it's really fun to be on Zooms with Vanessa, of course, to be like, oh my God, your shirt matches your wall.
What?
Like, it's just, she's got these like gorgeous pieces and just like, oh my God.
Oh my gosh, this is so exciting. I am doing so much research on Newly when we get off the phone for real because I have been doing a lot of research on Poshmark. Are you familiar with Poshmark, the app?
Yes, yes.
Have you ever bought anything off Poshmark?
No.
I do a lot of research. I bought one pair of jeans for my mom once and it totally worked out and she got them and they're great and they were new with tags and everything was wonderful. But like I like basically heart everything and I'm like I'm like, okay, well do I really want to buy this thing and is it not going to be as nice as it is? I don't know. I never know. It's like for people who don't know what Poshmark is, Poshmark, it's basically a consignment store on the internet, but it's totally legit. Like it's like people you have returns and all this shit. Like it's been around for a while, but I don't know.
And I feel like they trend toward designer,
They do.
like labely stuff. And I feel like take a look at Nuuly and see what you think.
I
I'm sure they
will.
have competitors too in this market of like boxes of clothes. Rent the Runway might even do that now because who the hell was doing anything during the pandemic? Who the hell was wearing formal wear during the pandemic? I
Totally.
just love this notion for you of just like wearing these designer clothes for a month and bags. And I think you can get jewelry. Love
Wow. I also love that you can wear it and then there's deep discounts. I'm so interested in
it.
knowing what like the monthly membership is because
Right.
that's like such an interesting concept. Because then you can change your style. And like I've never put a ton of stock into like spending money on clothes, but like going shopping in my closet has really changed my view. I'm like, do I really? Because it's like I'll often go to like consignment stores and yes, I'll see like the nice stuff like the Armani pants, but like most of the time I'll buy like the $5 t-shirt that I'll wear one time and be like, this is a piece of shit. But like I'm like, at least I got it for $5. It's like, no, maybe if you actually invest in decent pieces, or maybe if I do, then I don't know. It's just hard to like always validate buying a bunch of clothes, but then I'm like, fuck it. I got a bunch of organs out. That's gotta like account for something.
Yo, I mean, we should figure out some kind of formula like how many articles of clothing, how much can you spend on clothes and jewelry and skincare per organ?
At least 3,000 per organ.
How much, let's Google how much each of those organs are worth if you sold them.
Yes, oh my god, on the black market. Oh, that is dark and amazing, actually. I love that. Oh my god, I love
Yeah, that took a
that.
turn. I'm sorry,
No,
everyone.
I
I'm
love
sorry.
it.
Just want you to get some nice stuff, Katie.
Right? You never know. Like it's like, oh, they should have just like cryogenically frozen that shit, and then I would have taken it out in my wheelchair, sold it. Yeah, who'd want to? Anyway, this is I can go deep with that, but
A little damage, just fine. It's fine.
yeah.
Okay, so what else was I thinking for you along this whole fashion line?
Oh yeah, I have to say that I did buy a few things.
Oh, okay.
So I did buy two pairs of sneakers. Like I bought like a bright white pair of Birkenstock sneakers because Birkenstocks are my favorite. They're so cute. I'm afraid of getting them dirty, but I think it's gonna be fine. They're leather. I can wash them. And then a pair of like Echo, like little like gray sneakers. They're really cute. And I had been thinking about the white sneakers until like ever since like maybe 10 days after surgery, and I would tell Tyler about them while I would be crying. I'd be like, I just want these white sneakers, as if he's not gonna like I don't need his permission to buy fucking sneakers, but like I like was just, and he's like, well, are they gonna make everything better? And I was like, yes, they're gonna and so then I got them, and he's like, so, and I was like, I'm not crying right now, am I? Like I'm my life is exponentially better because of my white sneaks, thank you very much. So yeah.
Wonder if this is a thing. Is this a phenomenon? I'm so curious.
It might be. Like house arrest equals shopping in your closet. I mean, seriously, there's not much to do when you're alone and not alone, but like when you're at home and you got nothing to
Well,
do.
there's also this notion of like being liberated from the pain of this liberatory experience that was very painful, and like you get to be a different person. You are a different person than you were before.
Yeah.
like I think you said this before we hit record, like this is a before and after moment.
Yeah, no, it really is. And it's like I actually feel different. Like
Yeah.
it's interesting too because as I'm getting healthier and healthier, like my brain is switching into like the overactivity that I'm used to. And it's like I'm like, "No, we're not doing that. Like we're not doing that shit. We're not going down those really dark roads anymore. Like I've got no room for you." Like I should name my brain something, but I whatever name it would be really derogatory to whatever person was actually named that. But the point is that like I just feel like I can actually sense the health coming back into my body so that like the loudness of my body wisdom, like there's an opportunity for it to get dimmer where my brain is going to get louder, where that's like the way I've always operated, and I don't want that. Like a friend of mine was like, "No, you're so embodied right now in your body. You're making choices that are right or wrong for your body. Like not wrong, but like only right for your body. Like stay in this. Like this could be where you live, you know?"
Ooh, yeah. I know that was one of my questions, like the mind idea of a mind body connection. And ooh, I love that. And quick aside, as someone named Karen, I appreciate you not naming your brain something derogatory.
I would never.
'Cause
I love the name Karen. I
I do
do.
too.
It's a
Thank
great
you.
name.
So maligned. But yes, being embodied, I love that. I really do. And I hear you. I mean, I think it's a sign of what an elevated person you are, that like you are even aware that that is a thing that happens, that you can disconnect from your body in a way that you just like live in your brain and that you don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I don't. I really don't. And it's something that I mentioned in the last episode about like leaning away from talk therapy, which is something that's like I don't know. I don't know if that's the right answer, honestly. Like I believe in therapy. I love therapy. I just wonder if like I'm tired of ascribing to the same narratives over and over and over and over for my whole fucking life. And like this is the reason that I act this way, or this is the person that wronged me here, or this is the what blah, 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 blah. It's like I just I'm tired of it. Like I just want to feel free. And it's not that those things aren't still there, but it's like what if I turned down the volume on them a little bit and like turned up the volume on things that brought me joy. And like I feel like I one of the things that I really feel in terms of my body right now is that like I and this is hard for me, but like I have grief over my previous before surgery self of not having choice at all over when I would experience have these experiences. I had no choice. Like there was no way to mitigate it. It was awful and it was super violent and like I would lose time in my mind because I would pass out and then I would, have concussions and seizures and all this other shit. And like but I did not have a choice of when that would happen. And now I feel like, "Oh my god. Like I have choice over like and it's obviously who knows what is going to happen with my body in the future but like in that respect and that specific experience like hopefully that won't happen again and that is a beautiful thing and so it's like the mind body connection for me has been it's just a body connection for me. Yes, the mind is there, but it's like one of the things I said in the previous pod which I've been thinking about a ton is that like my body is the only wisdom that I've been able to think about. I haven't had a choice to think about like what do I think about this experience of not being able to fill in the blank for the past 3 weeks. It's like my body is the only wisdom. And so it's like it's kind of a gift in that way. And I'm very grateful that I've even been able to dedicate a full 3 weeks to recovery. So not everyone gets that.
So grateful you have been able to, and that you're letting this happen gradually and you're not forcing healing. Like you're just letting it happen and you're paying attention to what's going on. And I think there's a lot for us to all learn from that, of like, don't force it. Your body is trying to tell you all of these things.
Yeah, I've been thinking about your wisdom, Karen, so much that you mentioned to me in the last pod that you were like, your body wants to heal. That's what it does. It's like, that was so helpful to me to hear from you because it's like, I don't think I've ever really acknowledged, like, known that. Like, my body has hurt me a lot. And it's like, okay, wait, my body does want to heal. It does want to be happy. It does want to feel good. Like, and yeah, you're totally right. Like, and so thank you for being always my sage.
Same for you. And okay, I have a wild idea. It's not that wild idea coming from me. So I don't know if I told you this. So one of the things I think I did I think it was in the last month. So Emily hosted a full moon party for the last full moon, and I can't remember what it's. God, she's gonna be so disappointed. I don't remember. It's some special moon, right?
Okay. Yeah,
Full
yeah.
moon. And she had a bunch of us over, and we made Florida water,
Ooh.
just like alcohol with all of these like herbs and lavender and stuff in it, and you leave it out in the outside under the moon for 28 days, a full lunar cycle, and then you use it and you can like disinfect your house with it. Smells really good. Like it's basically like
Wow.
vodka with a bunch of like herbs and florals in it. But the one of the other things that we did that was like the best thing ever was she started a fire in her backyard and we burned a bunch of shit, which is like, a witchy church thing that we've always done.
Yes.
But like I took some very specific things with me to burn, and it was
Ooh.
very healing to watch them burn. And I feel like I thought of it because I feel like I also have some like grooves in my well-worn grooves in my brain about certain things. And that experience of burning them and watching them burn and letting it go has interrupted those grooves in my brain.
Seriously?
Yes, I will start to ruminate on that thing and it just fades because it's like, no, I let it go in the fire.
Oh my gosh, Karen, that's so beautiful. And I'm so happy for you. It's like that ritual changed like the cellular makeup of like how your brain thinks about those things.
And so I am wondering if you can do the same thing with the bullshit that your body fucking put you through for 27 years
Yes.
about
Yes.
this. Like, what would you burn around this experience?
I have to think about that. I really do. But it's something to really think about. Like, I think that because that's one thing that, there is like a person in my life that mentioned how, like, I'm not only healing from the surgery, I'm healing from those 27 years, like,
Yes.
simultaneously. And that's like really heavy for me to think about, to like carry. But at the same time, that person's right. And yeah, I really want to think about this, but I love that idea. Like currently in this moment, there's a crew. Well, they just left like 40 minutes ago, but there's a crew in my backyard and they're redesigning our backyard and we're getting
Oh,
pavers down and then they're going to have a fire pit in our backyard. And that all should be done within like 2 weeks. So this is actually a really opportune time to like christen that fire pit with some fucking rituals and saying goodbye to some stuff.
my God, even writing things down, like even if you
Yes.
started now writing things down and tearing them up and preparing to burn them. Oh my gosh.
Yes. I love this. Thank you for mentioning this. This is like very healing because it's like this idea of rituals, like this will really like cement. It's not just something that I think about that I'm not going to think about that anymore. It's like this is like an action. Like your body is actually it's like it is an integration between the mind and body in that way.
Yeah, and there's something very powerful about like watching something go up and like the way that certain things burn and the
Yeah.
colors of them and like watching it be reduced to ashes. It's just like, yeah, okay.
Yep. Yep.
Ooh,
Wow.
I
Thank you,
hope you do
Karen.
it.
I will. I absolutely will. I just love also that it's like going to be in my space. Are you okay? Oh gosh, your cats are attacking you.
Flopsy, so violent, so lovely, and yet so violent.
She's like, I have some stuff to burn, mom. Like,
Right.
I have my hand up for that experience.
My claw
My
in your
claw.
leg.
Oh my gosh, Karen, this has been so helpful. Thank you for helping me like talk about this. And listeners, thanks for listening. This has been a journey. I mean, yeah, that's not much to add on that.
Well, thank you so much for sharing. I really can't thank you enough for being willing to share all of this. It is so personal, but I think will resonate with so many people and is so helpful. And I just really appreciate you being open and vulnerable and wonderful about all of it. And I'm so grateful you're on the other side of this
Thank you.
experience.
Thank you so much, Karen. And thanks for being my safe space to talk about all these things. And whew. All right. Well, thanks everybody for listening. We will see you next week. We won't be talking about hysterectomies, but we'll see ya.